must be open and receptive to that. Otherwise, you will not develop enough empathy for what a character may be going through. Because what actors are trying to achieve within a particular moment is verisimilitude, the impression of truth within that moment. I can't put my finger on it. I can't even formulate what the experience is. I can't articulate it at the moment, but it's just this immense joy that just comes, and that's the thing that distinguishes why I am an actor, why I'm still an actor. It's just that moment that's there. Every moment I walk into a casting room, I don't because I don't act for other people. I do it for myself. It's like I control the outcome because I control how I respond to the work that I'm being given. So it's not me going, oh, am I going to get the role or not? It's me going, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to walk in. It's like today. Like when I was walking here, I was like, I'm going to have fun with Sam. I'm going to have a really good moment and just enjoy myself and just be passionate about the work. And that's it. Like it would just simplify it. And instead of walking into a room going, oh yeah, this is a big commercial, and if I do this job, then I'll be able to pay off my credit card, and I'll be able to I'll be able to work without having to worry about the bills for the next 3 months, or something like that. Like little things like that they just kind of trip you up. So yeah, just controlling the outcome by controlling how you perceive it and your perspective on it, I think is really important. My principal concern is to make sure that they walk away from set with everything they need in the can, and that's it. That's my concern. And if I walk into a casting, I make sure the casting director looks good in front of their client. So their client's sitting there watching the video and going, oh man, Jesus, Clay's given a real great audition. And that guy, I can't decide between the two. If they're kind of in that moment where they have good material, a good audition in front of them, and they get back to the casting director and they're like, Jesus, we can't decide between these two actors, then that builds a good rapport between my agent and the casting director, between the casting director and myself. So it's all about making sure everyone's job is being ticked off and that they're satisfied with it, more than satisfied, in most cases. I think that's incredibly important. And so my job is to always make sure that whoever I work with, irrespective of who they are, that they walk away feeling really good about the experience, because if they're not, then again, why bother? So.
Yeah, that they look good, everyone sort of are okay.
Yeah.
In terms of, what they're doing in the process.
Absolutely. And you don't want someone walking away going, oh, we almost got that shot. We almost got that performance. Some directors can be a little presumptuous in how an actor works and their technique. I've had one director, who was method actor focused, tell me to do method actor sort of processes to get what we needed in the scene. And I had to stop him and I said, I'm not a method actor. He's like, oh. I said, well, what can we do? I said, just tell me what you want in the scene. Simple. He said, okay, well, just do this. And I did it, and I gave him exactly what he wanted. He was like, oh, okay. And so his mindset changed from that. So it was like seeing that change for him. It was like, okay, not everyone works in this process. It's like 3 + 6 = 9, but also 3 + 3 + 3 = 9. 4 + 5 = 9. So there's different ways of still getting the same result, but there's different methods of getting to that result, if you understand what I'm saying.
Maybe longer and harder, but or in your case, it was easier.
Yeah. Or it just comes with experience.
It's completely different. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I just had a question. Just going off, your film and TV, was there, a preferred type of role that you like? Or are you quite variant on what roles you like to do?
Mainly drama and tragedy. I tend to play anti-heroes or villains. I'm terrible at comedy. I'm so bad at comedy. Because the thing is, I'm conscious of the punchlines. of the funny scenes and everything else. And
I thought you'd be great for a comedy.
no, I'm terrible. I'm too self-conscious. Either that or I need a really good comedic director to kind of keep me on the straight and narrow. Because I think the problem is if you have a director who's very with it in that sort of respect, they can really get the performance out of the actor. But I'm too like if I read a funny script, I'll be cacking myself when I first read it, and it'll always stay in my mind as to that moment, right. That first moment, and that first impression changes how I perceive the material. Whereas if I'm reading a dramatic script, I know to keep it serious. I know to keep it like everything straight and narrow on that sort of level, because of the gravity of the moment within that script. No one should ever want to be an actor, ever. It's the worst. It is the worst job in the world.
Said it to camera.
No, I'm serious. If you want to be an actor, please study accounting. It's terrible. Look, I studied IT and graphic design. And I thought, because I grew up around computers. I had an old 386SX computer with MS-DOS, and I was good with that and loved video games. My friends had Commodore 64s. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to grow up and work in IT. Terrible. I did work experience. It was hopeless. It was like boring, super boring. So I thought, okay, what else might I want to do? And then father was like, why don't you do graphic design? You like drawing? I was like, okay. So that's a combination of computers and drawing. So I did that. It was terrible. It almost killed my passion for drawing. So I was like, what else is there? And then I was kind of doing like an internal sort of exploration. And I was like, it's been right in front of me the whole time. Like I was a class clown at school. I loved performing. I was just show off. So I thought, okay, I'll give acting a go. And that's when I did the extras work. And then from there on, it went on. But when I look back on it, it's like, yeah, like it's a terrible choice to make, to be an actor. You only do it if there's nothing else. And for me, that's it. It's like there's no other profession I can do where I get that satisfaction. I had this one audition with a director a couple of months ago, and it was for Hamlet, and I went in and I did my audition piece from Julius Caesar, and he said, oh, okay, do it like this, and I did it again, and then he gave me a side for Claudius, the character of Claudius, and it was like the opening monologue that he has with Hamlet at the very start of the play, where he's telling Hamlet to cheer up, and things are well and everything sort of thing. And so I went out for 15 minutes and was learning the lines as best I could, and I was kind of half on, half off script. And as I was doing, I was kind of having these little mind explosions. I was like, oh, I could do it like this and I can do it like that. And I came in and I did the first sort of read through, and the director got up out of his chair and he's like, oh, Clayton, now we can try it like this, or we'll try it like that. And in this moment, say it like this. And I was like, okay, no worries. So I did it again, and I started to feel this joy. It's this welling of, oh my God, like I'm in the zone right now, just building up. And then I did a third read through as well, and the director was there and he's quite animated. And there was just this connection between us, and like this happens between not just myself and him, but it was like myself with other creatives as well. And I just remember walking back to the train station and going, that was such an enjoyable audition. Like, even though I didn't get the role, it was like just that moment, that like 5 or 10 minutes in that room where it was just a meeting of minds and being part of that sort of brain trust in creating a character that had this life to him that I didn't realize at the time, and I didn't really consciously bring into the room with me. But when I walked away, it was like, oh man, like there's so many layers to that person, and I just found that really fascinating to be in that position. And you don't ever conjure it from the sky and say, I want this inspiration to hit me out of the blue. It just comes out of nowhere, and you walk away with this amazing feeling.
Is it more the script that you connect with, or is it more the character you think that you connect with to kind of get that emotional performance?
A lot of it's empathy. You derive that a lot from life. I know there's a lot of acting techniques and everything else, and you know how to get to a certain emotional point within life. But the greatest teacher of all is life itself. And in order to reach that point, you need to kind of be open and receptive to how life is in all its facets. Not just the nice, bits, but also the tragic, heartbreaking bits as well. You must be open and receptive to that. Otherwise, you will not develop enough empathy for what a character may be going through. Because what actors are trying to achieve within a particular moment is verisimilitude, the impression of truth within that moment. And when you are within that moment feeling exactly the way the character should be feeling, and you're completely on track with the other actor, and you've just got this magic sort of dynamic.
It's that chemistry.
The chemistry, yeah,
is incredible.
That's the thing, and once you've got that, everything is in place. But empathy is the most important aspect for that.
Interesting, yeah. I think I've tended to to kind of compare more the script and the character and how they connect with each other more than empathy itself. It's more of like a traditional kind of way of looking at it.
Sure.
But I've never actually thought about it like that.
Yeah, well, it's empathy is basically the foundation. Like, yes, you need to find out the relation of the character to the other characters, where they fit within the narrative of the script, so on and so forth. But if you don't have the empathy of what the character, the barriers that the character is trying to overcome, the internal conflict that they're going through, you will never get if that framework is completely ignored from the outset, you will get a very stagnant performance. And again, that will affect your future work and everything else, because when people see your work, they're like, well, this is all that Clay can do up to this point. It's a very generic sort of performance, where as opposed to if they see a performance where you are internally conflicted, you have that real three-dimensional sort of aspect to the character, and you still have the relation to the other characters, how you respond to them, everything else, that adds a real sort of dynamic performance to the script, and it's incredibly important to be in touch with that.
Well, isn't that exactly what method actors also do as well? Is that they kind of bring that kind of sense of role into their everyday lives as well. Well, internally as well, you're on set. You may not be a method actor, but I think you're as well kind of connecting with a method actor. You're contrasting between the two a little, because you're not on set. On set you're doing it, but not off set. And a method actor would do the same, I think, off set. So I think that the difference between the two is quite marginal. People think it's a massive difference to be a method actor and not being a method actor. But I think it's quite similar, because internally you're still going through the struggle of trying to be that character.
Totally.
Even if it's not offset, because some people may have a different variation of that. Do you know what I mean?
Or it's not walking around on set and being called Mr. President. Like 24/7, and walking around and saying, "Oh yes, Mr. Spielberg, what are we going to do next?" Sort of thing. No, it's you're absolutely right. I agree with you on that, and but again, it just comes down to different methods in which to achieve the same answer, the same result. So that's
and each actor would have their own method of
absolutely, and I think that's really respected. Like one of the first indie plays I was in I did at the old Fitzroy. There was an actor there, and I read his bio, and I read that he studied Meisner, and I was reading Sanford Meisner's book on acting, and we were doing rehearsal, and we did a scene together, and we were kind of discussing the scene afterwards, and I said, well, and like you might probably want to do it like this, because you're a Meisner actor. Right. I said to him, first thing first, you never tell an actor what to do. It was like a rookie mistake. I was like 22, 23. I was so arrogant. And he kind of stopped me. He said, Clay, I may have studied with Sandy, but I don't do Meisner acting. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was such a real sort of realization for me to kind of go, just because they went to drama school and did that doesn't mean that they still continue on with that. One of the things some drama school students don't understand is that it's like martial arts. It's kind of like you learn a technique after a period of time and you keep using that technique, until after a period of time it becomes instinctive, it becomes second nature, and you don't think about the technique. It's just you pick up a script and you look at it and you see, there's signposts that are coming out at me, like moments within the script or in the scene or to do with the character that inform me as an actor as to what is going on, which connects me to the empathy of the character, connects me to my relationship to the other characters, what their barriers are, so on and so forth. So it's about getting to the point with your practice and your training so that you don't have to think about the training anymore. You don't have to think about the technique anymore. And so once you're able to separate yourself from the technique and just trust yourself, I think that's really important. I've actually got a really funny story about that. How did she do that moment? How did she do this moment? Oh, that moment where she was laughing there, and you know, and then our scenes together. I kept thinking, and I was just like, how? And then at the end, I thought it must be she must just trust herself, because I couldn't come to a satisfactory conclusion about it.